What the What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void Horror Podcast. My name is Alex, and today I'm very excited to talk to you about a spoiler-free review and an unboxing of a movie that's coming out June 24th in the UK and June 25th in the United States from Eureka, called The Miracle Fighters. And man, this movie is wild. We got to talk about the review first, and then I'll get into all the ingredients and everything that's included in this release and what I thought about that. But yeah, let's get into it. So yeah, The Miracle Fighters. This is a movie that is something that I was kind of like curious about. Didn't realize how related it is to a lot of the things that I really enjoy. Now, of course, this is not a horror movie. This is a sort of a fantasy / martial arts crazy kung fu action film that is from Hong Kong. And man, what a trip this movie is. First of all, this is from legendary director and choreographer Yuen Woo-ping, who has done a myriad of wonderful films that you probably have loved and watched a million times over. Iron Monkey, Tai Chi Master, The Drunken Master. He's worked with everybody, and he's taught everybody how to act in films, including movies like The Matrix, The Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. He's worked with Jet Li, Sammo Hung, Donnie Yen, Jackie Chan, everybody. And this movie is one of his earlier films that I had never seen. So I was super stoked to check this out when I found out who it was. So what is The Miracle Fighters all about anyway? So this is a movie that is starring Eddie Ko, who plays this guy named Cao, who is basically a guardsman for the Manchu order. And it's during the Qing dynasty, and it's from 1670 or something like that. But back then they outlawed marriage between Manchu and Han's people, and he ended up marrying a woman who is Han. His leader is like, we're going to give you the benefit of the doubt since you've been a decorated general for me, but you got to kill your wife. And he's like, nope. So he accidentally takes the emperor's son and accidentally kills him in the process of trying to escape. He doesn't realize this and lives with guilt for like 14 years later, where the emperor has found where he lives. And in the process of feeling guilty for the past 14 years, he essentially finds another kid to replace that kid, the emperor's son, so that if they do find him, they know that he didn't kill his son. But this is actually the director's brother as well. This kid's name is Shugan, and he even wears the emperor's son's necklace on his neck. So the emperor's general, who goes out to find him, decides to come up with a plan where they can fool the emperor and then become really powerful like sorcerers together and rule the land with all their power. Main interest is about this Shu guy who meets these two sorcerers who, it's a man and a woman, and they're really super ridiculously silly and funny and weird and kooky. They have magical powers, and they're able to like make rain happen, make things fly in the sky. Plus they're like kung fu masters, and they're like really good at martial arts. So a lot of the like stuff that they do in this movie, a lot of the choreography is really super creative and like really wild stuff here. Imagine a sort of low budget, kind of schlocky, but not really schlocky, silly movie about these two sorcerers who take in a kid to train him to become this powerful sorcerer. And he is going to go on and take on the Bat King, who is trying to kill him, and also the Emperor. And you have this movie, The Miracle Fighters. I love a lot of his films, and I've seen a lot of his work. He is a fantastic choreographer, director, and everything. So he's kind of like the all-in-one kind of guy. This is technically a comedy, but there is like a lot of really amazing martial arts, wire work, just insane choreography mixed with like creative like magic and fantasy, like that scene in the beginning of the video that I showed you with the kid in the pot. Like, that is the most bizarre, craziest thing that had me in hysterics laughing. This kid is in a pot. Supposedly, you can, like, put a child in a pot and, like, make him your slave. I know that sounds crazy, but in the movie, this bad guy does that to a kid and they stay in the pot and they can't get out. And somehow Yin Wu Ping made this work and put it in the movie, and it's bizarre and also amazing and funny at the same time. All the characters in this movie are just a really silly, over the top, but they do some just amazing stuff in this movie, and the story goes a lot of different places all at once. Is it the funniest thing I've ever seen? No, but this is a highly entertaining movie, one that I can't believe I've ever missed out on and not seen in the past. Like, I'm literally really excited about seeing this movie because this is actually one of my favorite movies now in the martial arts field. It's one that I will recommend to people, especially people who are kind of just coming into it. I think it's a very easy movie to watch. Now, this movie comes in dubs and it also comes in the subtitles, so you can listen to the original Mandarin language. Some of the like sound effects and voices and stuff that are used in this are pretty silly. Like, a man is playing this character sorcerer, and part of the reason I heard was because they couldn't find anybody. I enjoyed it. Like, even Christina, who doesn't even like these kind of movies, we sat down and started watching and instantly started laughing at some of the parts. I mean, it's just so bananas. And by the end, the kid learns so much that he has to go to this competition at the very end of the movie where all these sorcerers compete for this who's the best sorcerer of the land. And some of the stuff that they do there with all these other sorcerers is just fantastic. There's some like crazy kung fu fantasy stuff that goes on in this movie, but definitely done on like a very small budget, but you would never know it because they just put so much heart into this film, whether it be the story, whatever. I just really enjoyed this movie, and I think you will too if you are into martial arts films that you don't necessarily have to take too seriously. I mean, there is blood and stuff in this movie, but it's not necessarily a gory film. It has a little bit of that 70s flair, but also some of the sillier stuff from the 80s too. But yeah, I'd highly recommend this. This is like an 8.5 out of 10 for me as far as like these kind of movies go. If you liked Iron Monkey, this is a little bit sillier, but you'll see the charm that you saw in the Iron Monkey with some of the sillier stuff in it in this movie. Eureka has been putting out a lot of these lately, along with like 88 films and stuff, and I'm really liking what Eureka is doing with this. I'm going to get into the ingredients on here and talk about some of the extras and things like that. Like I said, June 24th in the UK, June 25th in the United States. There'll be links down below if you want to pick up a copy, whether it be Amazon, MVD, Eureka, wherever. For now, let's get into the ingredients. All right, first things first. This is a 2K transfer to Blu-ray, so it is basically just 1080p, but it looks a little bit sharper. I thought the picture quality was really good. The colors and everything in this really pop, and it's a very colorful movie, actually, not just in humor. If you're lucky enough to get an early copy or pre-order it or get a copy, you can get this slipcase that comes with it. You have the side and the back here. Now, they do have a reversible cover, which I show here on the front. There's the side and, of course, the back. On the inside, we get the Miracle Fighters on the disc, which looks in the color of the purple with the paid for cover, not the original cover like I just showed you. You can see underneath here that there is the paid artwork here, which I like, definitely like. Also, you'll get a little booklet here that is of the Miracle Fighters, kind of telling you the story of how it kind of got made and like what it's about and you know, who wrote it. There was a group at the time of like 3 different writers called the Peace Group. They were part of this film company. Even says in the writing credits, it just says Peace Group. I was like, Peace Group? Is that their name? Like Peace Group? Was this the 60s kind of thing? Like, what's going on? No, it was just a group of people that wrote it, and they wrote for the company. So it wasn't like they got credit for the writing. It was the company that got credit. They were just hired writers, if that makes sense. But yeah, they talk about this. James Oliver does sort of a thing inside of this here, kind of talking about, you know, how it came about and everything. It's a pretty good read. I'm not going to spoil it for everybody here, but it has a couple pictures and things in here. Nice little addition here with the physical release here. Now, like I said, this is a 2K transfer. It is the original Cantonese mono audio and optional classic English dub. So it's not Mandarin, it's Cantonese, my apologies. They do have the optional English subtitles. These are newly translated subtitles, by the way. Brand new audio commentary by East Asian film expert Frick Zhang. He's from the New York Asian Film Festival. And we got brand new audio commentary by action cinema experts Mike Leader and Arnie Venema. We also have a couple of interviews in here that I thought were really good. One of them is from like 2011 or 2012, I think. It's an interview with the director, Yuen Woo-ping, who kind of talks about a bunch of his films, choreography and things like that. But he gets into a lot more. But we also have archival interview from Frederic Ambrosine at the service of the great magician, an interview with Fish Fong, who is assistant director for many of his films. In fact, he gave him the start. He talks about his relationship with him and why things came about. He actually gives a lot of insight into some of the history of that, which is actually very valuable. We have the Shakespeare of Yuen Woo-ping. It's an interview with John Krang, who also had a very close relationship with Yuen Woo-ping. Stills gallery, trailer, plus a limited edition collector's booklet, which I already talked about in here, and this slipcover. So solid release here. The movie alone is worth it, but having the extras in there to kind of explain like the value of why this movie's so good and how little they had to work off of, and like just how much talent Yuen Woo-ping has with actual direction and choreography is just phenomenal. Highly recommend checking this out if you haven't already. And I'm not just saying that because I got sent a copy. It is just a movie that made me really happy to watch. And part of the reason why I like cult cinema and, you know, just Asian cinema in general is that there's just some really fun, interesting things that they do in this movie that are just totally worth watching. But yeah, that's everything, guys. Thank you very much, MVD Entertainment and Eureka, for sending this copy out to me. Like I said, you can pre-order it or pick up a copy. It comes out June 24th in the UK and the 25th on US Region A, so you don't have to worry about that. I think there is a Region B version as well, but you should be able to pick up a copy down below. I'll provide links wherever you are. But yeah, are you a fan of Yuen Woo-ping? Are you a fan of any of the movies that he's done? I would love to hear what you think in the comment section down below. Let me know one of your favorite movies that he's worked on. Let me know in the comment section down below. And if you enjoyed this video, hit the like and subscribe button and that little bell notification to let you know when I got a new video up. Thanks for coming by, and as always, long live the void.